and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. We're glad that you could come to our festivities tonight. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes, so make yourself comfortable, and we'll be about another 10 minutes or so and we'll begin. Ladies and gentlemen, and just to keep you informed, some of our VIP guests that are coming are running late because of traffic, so it'll probably be more like 4:10, about 10 minutes after 4 before we get started. We'll try to keep the air conditioner and the fans running, so make yourself at home and we'll get started shortly.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah, they got it set up, yeah. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, I'm gonna show you.
I don't think so. Does anybody need anything?
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, and distinguished guests, good afternoon, and welcome to the third annual completion ceremonies here at the Tarrant County College Center of Excellence for Aviation, Transportation, and Logistics. Today, we come together to honor and celebrate the Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, and distinguished guest, good afternoon, and welcome to the third annual completion ceremonies here at the Tarrant County College Center of Excellence for Aviation, Transportation, and Logistics. Today, we come together to honor and celebrate the accomplishments of our students who have completed areas of study in one of three technical programs: professional pilot, aviation maintenance, and logistics and supply chain management. These are no ordinary areas of study. Each program trains students for the rigorous demands of industry and prepares them to compete successfully in the aviation and logistics marketplace. The technical demands of these programs cannot be overstated. The training of commercial and instructor pilots, aircraft maintenance technicians, and logistics personnel require a dedication of study, demonstration, and testing well beyond and unlike most other vocational endeavors. We come together today at our Alliance Airport campus to recognize these students and their devotion to study, and to celebrate their completion of these very difficult courses. And we invite you to join us along with our graduating students next week at the Tarrant County College commencement ceremonies at the Fort Worth Convention Center Arena. And now, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests, as we begin today's festivities, we are pleased to introduce to you your host, the Division Dean of Aviation, Business, and Logistics. Please welcome Clinton Grant.
Thank you. To the parents, I promise we're much better at training students to be mechanics and logistics professionals than doing ceremonies, but we're getting better. I want to welcome everybody to our third annual completion ceremony. We started this a few years ago. I think about 3-4 years ago. The dates are starting to run together a little bit. And then after our first one, which was very successful, we thought, COVID hit. So we fought through the challenges of COVID, and then last year we were able to pull it off, but without family and friends and parents. So we are very pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. We were talking outside just a little while ago that we forget sometimes that Friday at 4 o'clock is very much like between 5 and 6 every other day of the week. So we know a lot of folks got hung up in traffic, so we delayed it a little bit, but we appreciate your patience. I'd like to start by introducing a few folks, if I can. We have a few VIPs with us. First off, I'd like to introduce the Northwest President, Dr. Serena Blankenbaker. I'd also like to introduce our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Thomas Sosa. Our Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Jan Clayton. And a former member of the family, the Director of College Access and Readiness, I hope I got that right, Dr. Demetria Razzo. And I should say on behalf of our Chancellor, Dr. Elva LeBlanc, I welcome you to the third annual completion ceremony. We've had a lot of challenges. I mentioned COVID before. At the same time we were battling through COVID, just not so long ago, we were completely going through a remodel of the first floor. And if some of you get a chance today, I'm sure the students will walk you around and show you the place if you haven't seen it before. So between COVID and the noise, it was, for these students, a particular challenge. And we appreciate your patience. We fought through it together. Part of the reason that we did this construction is because we will be, in future ceremonies, there's going to be a couple of new programs, new students sitting with this group. We have introduced, for the first time this semester, classes started, a non-destructive testing and inspection program. So if you're interested in that, please talk to us after, in addition to a welding program. So in addition to these graduates, like I say, there'll be more to come, and the house is just about full. We can't wait to have more and more kids moving through those programs as well. Out in the industry right now, for those of you that are familiar, we're fighting a lot of battles. Probably one of the biggest challenges we're facing is a shortage of workers. I don't know, you can't turn on the news every day and not hear about a shortage of aviation mechanics, a shortage of pilots, flights getting canceled, as well as all kinds of logistics and supply chain management issues. So the good news is we're doing something about it, and we're proud of that. And we're really proud of our students, and they're coming out at a good time. You guys, I don't know if you picked this time, but you picked a good one because they're waiting for you. So I want to go ahead, if I can, and acknowledge also that these programs that occur in this facility, you can walk around and take a look out on the ramp. Like I said, see some of the labs later on. There's a lot involved in it. It's very complex, and it costs a lot of money. And we are, those of us that work in these programs, teaching these programs, we are incredibly grateful to the citizens of Tarrant County and our Board of Trustees for supporting these programs because there is a need. There's a huge aviation and logistics presence in this part of the state, and it's very important that we're here. So we want to offer our thanks. One of the things that is required by the technical programs, when students start at Tarrant County College, they're either taking traditional academic courses, the English and the math, that sort of thing, or technical courses, as we refer to them. And in the technical programs, we're required to have advisory committees. And these are people that are from the industry, that are made up of industry representatives that offer us, as the leaders of these programs, advice on what they would like to see from graduates, the equipment that we have, the facilities, the curriculum, everything that goes into putting these programs together. And so we have two of our advisory committee members. The chair of the Aviation Advisory Committee is on the stage with me, Mr. Bill Goebel. And in addition, our advisory committee chair for the Logistics and Supply Chain Management Program is sick. He couldn't be here. His name's Richard Jones, but we have a fill-in who also happens to be from that program, and it's our guest speaker who I want to introduce you to. We like to, or one of the things we like to do, because we have so many different types of programs here, we like to kind of alternate between industries, if you will, on who we'd like to get for speakers. So for example, last year we had a pilot come. Well, this year my focus turned toward logistics. And the young lady I'm going to introduce you to next happens to be on our advisory committee. And it was pretty much a no-brainer when we decided to select who we wanted to come and speak to you guys. She is a wonderful speaker, very motivated, and we're always excited to see her. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Gabrielle, or Gabby Smith, is the founder and CEO of the Gabby Smith Consulting Group, a consulting firm specializing in all things centered leadership, professional coaching, and development. Having spent nearly 3 decades in a myriad of industries ranging from transportation and logistics to higher education, administration, academia, private practice, Gabby lives her dream of waking up and helping professional leaders clarify their vision, align their efforts, and actualize their dreams. In her free time, if she has free time, and I hope you brought some cards, by the way. In her free time, she and her family can be found cultivating their East Texas farm and ranch, as well as helping entrepreneurs develop and launch business enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Gabby Smith.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's so much to be said right now. The first thing that really grabbed me, I have something prepared. As a matter of fact, I have a 10-point speech for you, and all of you will be tested on it at the end. That's my real purpose here, okay? But it was just said, you know, I don't know if you all picked the time, this time that we're in. I want to tell you, graduates, that this time picked you. This time picked you. And I want you to just hold on to that and let it sink in, because you've done the work and you've done everything, but I know there's at least maybe 2 or 3, just 2 or 3 maybe, that are wondering if you're going to make it. And I'm here to tell you that you will, okay? You will make it. You've made it already, okay? So on with your 10-point test, all right? All right, so as I was thinking about this, I've been to a number of commencement services, a number of them my own, officiated a number of them. As you just heard, I've been in some type of practice or business for the past 3 decades or more. And I thought, what could I offer that would really speak to your heart, would really speak to where you are? The thing we've been through, all of us have been through what we call unprecedented times, but they're only unprecedented for some of us, okay? We've had unprecedented times throughout time, okay? And so that's why I said this time has picked you, and you all are gonna do great with it. So I came up with a few things that I think might be helpful to you. Now you can have all 3 of them, it's only 3. You can pick one or a combination. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that you all have earned whatever it is you aspire to earn. Now I want you to own it. I want you to own it. Those 2 things are not the same. So for many of you, you were forced here. We won't tell anybody else, but I know, okay? So in addition to all of these things that we talk about, I was a college professor for a number of years. And I will tell you, I sent away as many students as I graduated, okay? A lot of them came back. But I sent them away because they were in the wrong place. They were in the wrong place, and this is why. This is how I knew. For many of you, you thought you were coming to get a degree because, you know, you can probably get paid a little bit more. You might want a promotion, might be another job opportunity. But what they did not tell you, that even though you're getting the degree, the certificate, whatever it is, it's not really about that. It was the process that you went through. It was the process, and you're here. So you went through that process. In addition to the process that you went through, it wasn't just to award or confer your degree. It was to give you an opportunity to become a better or best version of yourself. And you'll see many versions of yourself. But this is what this is. Thank you. Thank you. So, but it really is. It was an opportunity to allow you to become a better version of yourself. But that's not all it is, okay? This is what owning it means. Many years ago, when gas prices were hiking, sounds familiar? I won't even tell you what the hike was. We would love to pay what the last hike was that I'm going to tell you about. We would love that, okay? It was about 1/3 of what we pay now. But I can remember a mentor, one of my mentors, she and I, we were meeting for lunch, and I arrived and I didn't see her car. And she had the best luxury car that you could find, okay? Most people wouldn't even park next to it for fear they would do something to it and not be able to pay for it, okay? So I was looking for a car. I never did see her. I waited, and finally, I went in. I said, well, I'm just going to go in and just wait for her on the inside. To my dismay, she was inside and she was waiting for me. So the first thing I asked her, I said, what happened to your car? I said, I didn't see your car. I'm so sorry. She said, oh, no, I changed my car. I said, okay. I didn't see the next best car. So it's like, what happened? She said, oh, no. She said, things are changing, and just as business, I changed my life. She said, so I'm not going to hold on to something just to hold on to it. When the wave moves, I'm going to move with the wave. That's owning it. The other thing, how many of you have seen the movie Sabrina? I'm really dating myself. There are like 2 or 3 versions of it. You can raise your hand. It won't fall off. Okay, so spoiler alert if you have not seen it, but you're going to want to see it once I'm done. So the part in the movie that I want to talk about is there's a gentleman, the father, Sabrina's father, and he is the chauffeur to a very wealthy gentleman that he drives from the suburbs, I'm going to say, into New York or Manhattan every day, probably Wall Street. I don't remember those details. This is the part that I love. So after years, he's raised his daughter. His daughter was a little girl there. He raised his daughter there. Every day, back and forth for many years, all the years of his daughter's life, he's going back and forth driving this businessman. His daughter gets older. She wants to get married, all these other things, but she fears that, oh, my dad is just a chauffeur, so I don't want to leave him. How can he take care of himself? So to his dismay, she learns that her dad is just as rich as the gentleman that he's been driving for years. Yeah, you're all writing it down now, aren't you? Gonna go watch it. So she finds out, she's like, what happened? He said, well, every day he was on the phone while I was driving, and he would say, sell this, buy that. And he said, when I dropped him off, I'd find a place where I could sell this and buy that. And whatever his money did, my money did too. Now, what's the moral of the story? The moral of this story, and owning it, is don't just give this degree. Don't give your time, your talent, your blood, your sweat, your tears. Don't just find a company to plop it in and leave it there every day and you go back and forth home. Own what you are willing to give to others. That's how you make a life, not just a living, but a life. So own it, okay? There you go. The next thing, as I thought over the years, working in different organizations, I had the pleasure of working for UPS. And it was a great pleasure. Before I got to UPS, and even now and while I was at UPS, I had the beauty of going into many companies. I can't even count them. I can't even remember all of them. But I had the pleasure of going into companies. And what I was brought in to do was figure out what was wrong and to make it right. What I learned in that process is that the problems that are typically within any place has to do with the perception of the leaders or the people there. It doesn't matter. It has to do with perception. When I was in private practice, I noticed the same trend that companies had. I found it in individuals, I found it in families, and it was the failure to redefine. So most of us, many of you know this, many of you will find out, most of us, we think that we're living our own definition. We really do believe that it's ours, that it's our meaning. One of the great pleasures that you will have in life is to figure out if you are living your life or a life that someone else has prescribed. And as frightening as it can be and will be if you realize, hey, this is not my definition of what this is. It's a great place to be. So the second thing that I would tell you, become a master at redefining your own moments and your own times. You get to define it. If no one has told you that, I'm giving you permission to do so now. So make sure that you become that master of redefining. And here's an example. Burial and planting, this is my farm girl coming out, burial and planting look the same. Think about it. We dig holes, we put something in it, we put the dirt on it, right? What's the difference? What's the difference? And one is not even intended to grow. It's not really, but the process is the same. So you get to decide if it's burial or if it's planting. You get to decide that. So you get to choose harvest or decay. You get to choose that. So Gabby, what if someone buries me? I give you permission to resurrect yourself. That'll teach them to bury you. So always make it a point to redefine. So how does that show up in my life? Many of you might be in a relationship, you're aspiring to be in a relationship, marriage, whatever it is you decide. Oftentimes we use the definitions of our parents, people we see, people we don't know, whatever the case is, and then we find that it's an ill fit. You define, not just once, You redefine and you redefine until whatever it is or wherever you are is working to your advantage. Redefine. The last thing, now this is it. How many of you have gotten something so far? Okay, this is it. This is my last one, okay, before the quiz. So finally, the last thing, you are in your future. You're in your future right now. Now, this is not like a DeVry University commercial. You are in your future. Not at all. I can say that. I used to work at DeVry too. This is not that kind of thing. I have a 99-year-old aunt that I speak to very frequently, okay, very frequently. And last year when she celebrated her 99th birthday, you know, all of us were gathered around and we said, hey, you know, drop us some knowledge. What you got? Tell, you know, what you got. So we're ready. We're waiting for this really profound thing, you know, like I saw Moses and this is what he said, okay? We're waiting for something profound. And this is all she said. You're in your future right now. So we were kind of looking like, has it finally hit her? What is she talking about? She said, no, you're in your future now. And what she meant is that oftentimes we don't realize it, but we're in a stage of life and we push off something that we want, something that we desire, whatever the case is. We push it thinking that there's something else, like there's a portal that you go through and you get another life or you get another time to live in. She said, no, this is it. So my way of saying that is that you can't mix cake ingredients and expect a pie to come out of the oven. So whatever it is you're wanting in the end, you better put it in right now. Put it in right now. So you are in your future now. So make sure that you are living your life the way you want to live it by your definition, because what you put in now is what you get out on the other side. Thank you. Thank you.
As you can imagine, when we have advisory meetings in the logistics and supply chain management program, we have a really hard time getting Gabby to offer advice and speak to us. For all that she does, not only being here today, but for all that she does in supporting our programs, I wanted to offer Gabby a little token of our appreciation. Not a bottle of water.
I was going to say a bottle of water.
Okay. I should have opened this earlier. All right. There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so, since Richard couldn't be with us tonight, we're going to ask Gabby to stand in for our, like I said, for our logistics program. Okay. This year, we've got a couple of little special things that we're going to do. We have a couple of special presentations. So at this time, I would like to invite Ray and Daryl up to the stage, please. This is Mr. Do these guys know you? This is Mr. Ray Baker, and our department chair for the Aviation Maintenance Program, and the coordinator for that program, Mr. Daryl Irby. Gentlemen.
This is to recognize 4 individuals that Mr. Daryl Irby is going to elaborate for us. Carlos Lopez, Ryan Pappenmeyer, Matthew Pollack, and Mitchell Wagner.
Hey folks, I can't emphasize the job that these guys did. They were given a bucket of bolts, so to speak. They did an incredible job. And the job I'm referring to is right back there in the middle of the hangar. That's that Cessna 152. It's tan on the top, kind of a maroon color on the bottom. If you'll take a look at it, they put this airplane back together, and they did it with parts that were substandard. Let me start out again. They did it with parts that were collectively substandard, but they went through 3 different engines to find all the parts that they needed to make one serviceable engine. These are students, and They did an incredible job resourcing parts. They put a lot of extra time in, and now we have an operational aircraft, and I just have to commend them on the job that they did. Good job, fellas.
Thank you, gentlemen. And be sure, after the ceremony, you guys go over and take a look at it. Aircraft's gorgeous. So, as you can imagine, the program, the aviation maintenance program, was the first of these programs to be established, and it was established back when the college was founded in the mid-1960s. So, over the years, we've graduated countless number of students. I had the opportunity last week to go over to Maintenance and Repair Operations trade show in Dallas at the Cape Bailey Hutchinson Center over there, the big convention center. And I can't describe to everyone, if you've ever been there, the place is massive, and it was just full of vendors and folks from all four corners of the globe representing different interests for aviation. And we were competing, some of our students were competing in a maintenance competition as students. So something like, trying to remember, Stu, it was like 70-something teams, wasn't it? Something like that. And we had so many different representatives from all the airlines and MROs, repair stations, just all things aviation. They're trying to hire students. And one of the things that caught my attention is when I walked into the place, I went over there just to visit, you know, a little pep, lend my support. I had countless people coming up to me that knew me, familiar faces, folks I didn't remember, some that didn't know me, or that knew me, I didn't know them, I should say, that had graduated from our program over the past 50-plus years, hired students from our program, and were just thrilled that we were there and shaking my hand. I mean, I felt like a celebrity. It was incredible. So the point being, there's a long, rich history with the maintenance program, and we're developing those histories with the newer programs as well. But over the years, we've had many, many graduates. But we only started this ceremony a few years ago. So we have a little special presentation. So if I can lean on Dave to call a few names for me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause our program for just a moment for a little something different. Would the following former students please arrive at the steps of the podium? Joseph Gonzalez. David Hill. Daryl Irby. David McConnell. Mickey Shriver. Mike Vitek. And Case Williamson.
All right, congratulations, guys. Thank you. And fair warning for those of us at TCC, where I can find these guys and dig them up, we may do that again in the future. Okay, so for what we've been waiting for. All right, so next we're I want to go ahead and instruct the students as to what's going to happen next. It's your time. So, and to let the family know, we hand out pins for each one of the maintenance program, the logistics program individually, and the flight program. So when it's over, be sure to grab your student and take a look at it. And that's what we just gave the former graduates as well. So I believe we're going to go ahead and call out for each program. We're doing it in alphabetical order, and then you'll come across the stage. The one thing I did want to mention to each one of the students, don't forget, is right here, there's a little white dot on the stage. Pause when you get your pen just long enough for us to get your picture. So your families are going to want that. I don't want mothers and fathers coming to me later, so get your picture. Roger? Roger that. Thank you. Okay. So in alphabetical order, the Aviation Maintenance Technology Program, I call upon the chair, Mr. Ray Bacon. Mr. Bacon, do you have candidates for the Certificate of Completion and/or Associate of Applied Science in your program, sir?
Prepared, tested, and applied the principles we've taught them in their program. They are more than qualified for completion. They will be proud to be considered airframe and power plant mechanics, a title distinct among their peers. Mr. Skidmore, if you'll do the honors, come forth and get your pen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to introduce the following students. Guillermo Arias. I. Arap. Cameron Bosco. Slow down, slow down. Kristen Busquet. Zachary Bryan. Christina Cardona. Marcus Castillo. Matthew Cruz. James Dilday. Gregory Dixon. Tyler Dolezal. Luke Friendstead. Justin Gonzalez. Nabin Garoond. Tyler Herr. Taylor Hills. James Darius. Nathan Lom. Dustin Loggins. Carlos Lopez. Elias Lopez. Miguel Mancha. Josh Marshall. Ryan Poppenmeyer. Walter Parada. Samuel Player. Matthew Pollock. Matthew Preby. Kyle Randall. Redden. Alec Redden. Ricardo Ricano. Jordan Rivera. Rafael Robels. Michael Sheets. Gloctron. Alex Tuggle. Jeffrey White. And Casey Whittemore.
All right. Okay, next up in alphabetical order is our Logistics and Supply Chain Management Program. So I'll call upon the chair, Mr. Mike Escobel. Do you have candidates for Certificate of Completion and/or the Associate of Applied Science, sir?
Yes, I do.
Very well said. Let's get them up.
I did grant the following students have studied, practiced, and have been tested in the principles of logistics and supply chain management. They're more than qualified for completion. They're now considered professionals in their chosen field.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to introduce to you these following students. Zachary Bowles. Amy Helmers. Christine Lawrence. Melton Lawrence. Marvell Robinson. And Darlene Willis.
Okay, and last but not least, again, in alphabetical order, our Professional Pilot Program Chair, Mr. Chad Wigan. Do you have candidates for Certificate of Completion and/or the Associate of Applied Science, sir?
Dean Grant, I can confirm that the following candidates have tested, been applied multiple nights of studying, which led to loss of sleep, and throughout this program, many loss of dollars along the way as well. I'm very proud of this group, and I'm glad to be calling them as peers in the professional pilot program, as they are all professional pilots in my eyes, and I'm glad to confirm they have met the rigorous requirements of this program.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. The pilots go on and on, mechanics, they just fix it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to introduce to you these professional pilots. Austin Butler. Annika Cleveland. Isaac Edmiston. Anik Fazuldin. Stephanie Gialotti. David Hood. James Hughes. Ryan Johnson. Michael Khalil. Joaquin Matias. Logan Moyer. David Nation. Brendan Norman. Mohammed Patanwala. Nathan Pitaniello. Zoe Pope. Salia Tahani. Erwin Venegas. And Jorge Vasquez.
Okay. Let me give the students just 1 minute to sit down. The last one's always the favorite, man. All right, great job, guys. Okay, I want to finish off with a couple of different things. Pulling off an event like this is never easy. If, normally, for those of you that may have had the opportunity to be up here during the normal part of the semester, the hangar is usually full of airplane parts all over the place, grease and cowlings laying around, just doing the stuff that the mechanics do inside of this facility. And lots of noise out on the ramp, which is music to our ears. We love it. But it took a lot of folks doing a lot of hard work to pull this event together. So I want to recognize a couple of folks real quick before I turn you guys loose. Doug, can you and your team, I'd like for everybody on your team, if they aren't standing up, go ahead and stand up. I think most of them are. If not, kind of wave at everybody. These are the folks that pulled this hangar together for us. They always do a great job. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is that you guys are going to, in a few minutes, you're going to go across the hallway here into the cafeteria area, and they put together a little reception. And I'd like to thank everybody that pulled that together for us. So let me name a few names here, because that was not easy. The food and everything, it takes a team. And if they depended on me, it would be a disaster, so I depend on them every day. And folks, if you can just wave, I think most of you are already standing. There's Allison, Summer, Brenda, Carolyn, Christina, John, Karen, all of these ladies over here. There was food in there, so they wouldn't let me in there until just before the ceremony. And I want to say you guys outdid yourself. It's fantastic. I also would like to have in the back of the room, all of the faculty and staff, please stand. For the parents and the students, these are the folks that make this program happen every day. And the last thing I'd like to mention real quick, or the last folks I'd like to recognize, I'm going to ask all of the students to stand up. We do this at every Mercy. I want you to turn to your left, and I want you to give a big hand for the people that made this possible for you. To the family, the friends, the supporters of these students, thank you. Okay, you can sit down. The last thing I want to say for our students is don't forget where you come from. Come back and visit. When you get out there and you've been in the industry for a while and you're the CEO or whatever you become, don't forget us. Come back, visit, maybe come back and teach a class, hire our students, come back and see us, give us money if you've got any, we'll take that. Airplane parts, whatever we can take. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the graduating class, if you will, of 2022. That will adjourn our festivities. Please take advantage of all the wonderful work the ladies did across the hall. There's food, refreshments, and take a tour if you want to. Students, show your folks around. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. Be safe. Oh.